Good day, viewers. Welcome back to yet another fun-filled and exciting episode of your favorite show. That is, of course, the Social Leak. I am Hanshika Porfi, and I will be your moderator for today's discussion. Now, before we tap into today's discussion, let's take a quick trip to the marketplace. Now, last week we had an amazing discussion on financial breakdown where we were joined by a financial advisor from Old Mutual, Redi Kanime, as well as a candidate legal practitioner, that is, of course, Dahambelela Haifene, who shared a lot about the importance of saving money, especially from a young age, and investment. It was such an amazing discussion, and because I love to plug you guys, of course, here is a recap of what happened last week.
Good day, my name is Ndahambelela Haifene. I'm a candidate legal practitioner. I'm also a speaker, aspiring author, and I love everything that has to do with finances, savings, investment, all that.
Yes.
Good day, my name is Randy Kanime. I'm a credit financial advisor from Old Mutual, Namibia. So we handle all your financial aspects from here to the near future as well.
To categorize my finances so that it assists me in planning and budgeting and seeing which areas I need to pour my finances in, and really just trying to get around managing my finances in a healthy way.
That is something that actually draws down from how you were raised at the end of the day. So doing it now would be like a plus.
Yeah.
But getting the understanding of that specific person's background first before actually advising them on how to start saving.
Yes.
So as soon as the parents, or let's say for example the government, the parents basically like have or create like understanding and like a usual discussion, maybe daily, like please do this, save this amount of money, let's see where it accumulates to in the next future, or in the next 12 months to say.
Of course, starting from an early age, I think especially as young as 13, the parents also need to be involved so that they teach their kids the importance of saving, and just start with a small thing, or create an account for their child, or have a piggy bank for a child so that they understand that every time I get money, you tell them every time you get money, put something inside that plants a seed in that person.
Personally, from my side, to say it bluntly and put it out there, Forex is something that is, I don't want to call it stereotyped. It is the truth. It actually does happen. There's actually very good traders out there that actually do a very good job. But we only see like a certain point of it. So we don't actually see what's behind the doors or behind all the Instagram posts of all these millionaires, etc. etc.
Personally, I think there's room for improvement. I know we have something called the Financial Literacy Institute, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. They give out information about finances, but I'm very concerned when most of these initiatives that come about are focused at places where people are already aware of this information. I haven't seen them. I'm from a very small village in the northern part of Namibia, and I will say it now, I haven't seen them in my village.
Yeah, just to add to what she said is actually, I'm spot on. I would say as soon as it comes from the government, government needs to like incorporate and make it compulsory from the education side. Number one. So we have math in schools, we have accounting in schools, but we do not actually understand how the money structure works in schools. Do you understand? So
now, today in studio, we are going to be talking about all things life after high school. It's actually a little bit more complicated than what you think. It's not as easy as many people put it out to be. And of course, my opinion doesn't matter as much because I am joined by a first-year student at the Namibia University of Science, as well as a business management graduate. And I'm of course going to let them introduce themselves. Please introduce ourselves for our viewers.
Ladies first.
Good day, my name is Eva Raquel Johannes, and I am a first-year media student at the University of Science and Technology.
Hi Namibia, my name is Frank Simon. I am a honors bachelor's business management graduate.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, taking time out of your very busy schedules to be here with us. All right, so to start off today's discussion, I want to find out, was it what you expected? Just coming out of high school, going into university, and of course you graduating, was it what you expected it to be? Maybe we can start with Eva.
Fresh out of high school, I did not expect varsity to be that way. It was really hectic. It's more of student-based learning, and I realized that I have to do most of the work by myself. I'm constantly kept on my toes to learn new things because I'm meeting different people on a daily basis. But all in all, I wouldn't say it's really far from the picture I had, because I knew at some point growing up would just mean more responsibility and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For me, Ancho, it was actually way better than I expected. Going in the industry, adapting to all the different tasks and responsibilities that you are given, it's a lesson, because like from when I was a young guy, I started working for different businesses, and which actually helped me go in the industry and know what to expect from them. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually a good thing to hear. I'm actually hearing a lot of positive from you guys. You know, a lot of people, especially if I had like, let's say a 48-year-old in here, they would be like, yo, it was difficult. I didn't expect this and this and this. Now I have to buy my own cosmetics and all that. Yeah, so you spoke a little bit about working into the getting into the industry and working a little bit. Tell us about your realizations when you went to work within your industry, or when you went to varsity for you, Ava. What were those things that you picked up on, or like those just those little things that you're picking up on and you're like, oh, this or that or something like that?
One of the really crucial things I would say was me being forced to be as diverse as I possibly could, because at the end of the day, I'm meeting different people, like I mentioned earlier. People don't necessarily think at the same level as I do, which prompted me to constantly be either educated about particular things, to be constantly, you know, engaged in contemporary issues in my society. And really, varsity just teaches you to be self-reliant, in the terms of the fact that nobody's going to do the work for you. And when I got into there, it was hectic, but I learned to adapt over the past month or so. It's not really something I can say I would change for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I realized that Namibia has a lot at its disposal, and it has so many creative people in the industry, and I realized that being in my position, you, as a graduate in the market, you are allowed to make lower level decisions that can actually affect the corporate at whole, and its stakeholders as well, which could be the customers. So every decision that you make, or everything that you do, your role plays a big responsibility on the corporate itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Very interesting right there. But you know, in life, there's always a little bit of sourness somewhere.
Yeah.
Everything comes with a few challenges, you know. So what are those few challenges that you faced within high school? Within varsity, and for you now, you started working as well. So what are those challenges that you faced and are still facing? Maybe I can start with you, Frank.
The few challenges that I'm facing is that working with a lot of different cultures, and learning how to work with those people and coming together with ideas. It's quite a challenge, because you have to learn how to understand how to work with those people. So yeah, it's one of my challenges.
Yeah, interesting.
I feel like the only challenge I'm facing right now was me getting into the course that I want, because I had so much discrimination that came from either my family or people around me who didn't believe that media is the path for me, solely because they have prejudiced ideas against media and journalist students. So it was really a fight for me to get into my course, or my desired course. But eventually I got in, and I realized that people are always going to talk, and because some people even went as far as saying, no, I'm going to waste my brains on media and journalism. So these things just really prompted me to take it as a profession, and I do believe that I'm going to make a difference in that sphere of that discipline.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. You know, people will talk.
Yeah.
It's one thing that we need to sit down and realize that people are not just, you know, regardless, even if you decided to do law, someone would have been there like, oh, God, well, like, what are you doing? You know, especially like Namibia is just a country where people are always ready to say something about what you want to do. But it's your decision at the end of the day that will actually, if whatever decision you make will affect you at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Such a lovely discussion that we're having here in studio on life after high school. We'll be back right after this short break. Well, if you're just joining us, you are watching The Social Leak, and today we are speaking about all things life after high school. I'm of course joined by a business management graduate as well as a journalism student from the Namibia University of Science and Technology. Now, before the break, we were of course speaking about the challenges that they faced and are still facing within their different industries. But now I want to find out a little bit about the successes that you've obtained thus far. Let me start off with you, Frank.
It has been very rewarding being able to use your theoretical knowledge into a practical circumstance or situation, and when you do that, you learn from both sides and mix that, and actually know how you grow yourself as an individual. Your experiences grow. So that's one of my successes that I obtained after graduating and being in the industry. Yes.
Unlike Frank, I didn't get my degree yet. So I feel like the only success I have so far is getting into my desired course and slowly but gradually integrating myself within the media and journalism in sphere. With doing activities like this, interviews, and just being in contact with many journalists and media students that I possibly can.
That's great. All right, so can you tell us about something that you would have done differently? Maybe a life lesson that you've learned thus far. I don't know. I think Ava, Ava for you is maybe a little too early to tell, but you never know.
Probably, you never know.
You never know. But like, what is something that you would have done differently?
Something I would have done differently is probably just trusted myself more. Because from the get-go, I knew what I wanted to do, but I allowed external forces and external voices to dictate my decision when it came to actually applying for the course that I wanted. Because then I was so conflicted between what I want and what people around me want. And I really didn't, I didn't have a stable decision making thought process. But then I feel like that's the only thing I would have changed. Just trusted myself more and go with my gut feeling, because I know I'm gonna do good in this discipline. It's just a matter of me actually deciding to do it.
What about you, Frank?
Although I had a lot of ups and downs in my career or in my student life, like I wouldn't regret any of them, because it got me to this point where I am right now, and I wouldn't have changed it for anything, because I still believe that failure is it's not the opposite of success. It's part of success. So yeah, so I don't regret anything. I'm happy with what I did so far. So yeah.
Amazing. I love that. Your failures are what leads you to your successes. Because you have to, in order for you to learn, you need to fail somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yes. Right, so our high schoolers are people that just want to get out of high school.
Yeah.
They are so like, oh, I can't wait to get into university. I can't wait to start working and driving my Range Rover and all that. This is conversations that they are constantly having.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give them right now?
The best advice I can give a high schooler or anybody who wants to pursue varsity tertiary education is do it now. There is no better time to learn. There is no better time to be quote unquote educated. There is no better time to have that degree than now. We're heading into a space where it's your paper that speaks for you, not necessarily you, and it's your qualifications that are going to get you to that particular place. Varsity, though, it's not going to be a place where you're going to have ample time to, go to groove or do all these willy-nilly things. You're going to be constrained with work and deadlines, and it's going to take discipline for you to get through it and to, just achieve what you want in life. But all in all, do it now. Don't procrastinate. Don't say I'm going to take a gap year. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can handle it, go to school right now and get that degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, the graduates that are that want to get into the industry, I think that they shouldn't be so in a rush. They shouldn't be in a rush to get there. They should find their passion, something that they are really into, that they feel that, no, I can do this for at least 10 years or at least 5 years. So, yeah, and when you find your passion, it's when you can help the world and yourself. By doing that, you're helping yourself. So, yeah, don't rush. Yeah.
That's amazing. Don't rush. You're gonna crash a bone.
Yeah.
Don't rush. Don't rush. And also, if you are doing something that you're passionate about, if you decide, okay, you know what, I actually love cameras. I love entrepreneurship. I love it. You'll never have to work a day in your life if you're doing what you love.
Exactly.
So once you're passionate, you need to go a little bit into that sphere and explore it a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so unfortunately all great things do have to come to an end, but before we go, is there anything that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Final comments from
Yeah.
me. Possibly be, like Frank said, identify your passion. But where your passion and where your society needs your capabilities interlap, that's where your purpose is. If you serve your purpose in that particular season, obviously you'd have to make money off of it, and obviously you can make a living off of it. But if you're just doing it for the money, you're in the wrong business. And I'd say just go for what you feel you're driven to do and help your society.
My final comments is there's two types of people in this world. There's the doormat and the aventador. The ball is in your court. Choose which one you want to be.
I love that phrase. I'm going to use it now more often.
Yeah.
You just need to remind me again.
I will do so.
Right, we've come to the end of our discussion. Such a lovely discussion that we had here on life after high school. Is it really what you think it is? For all of you that are desperate to get out of high school, I think now is the time to get a little bit more in tune with what you're passionate with, what you'd like to study. And if you are not going to study, or if you feel like school is not for you, then you need to be honest with yourself and find a way of maybe going into vocational education or anything else like that. So from us here at the Social League Studio, it is of course goodbye.